What is going on, guys? It's me here back with another First Descendant video, and for this video I'm going to be going over all the best farms currently in season 1. We're going to start with the fastest and go in order to the slowest. Now some of these farms do require very optimal conditions to actually do them, so keep that in mind. But there is some farms in this list that you will be able to do as a solo player regardless of the conditions. However, obviously meeting optimal conditions for each farm is going to make them faster, but there is some good farms in here regardless, where as opposed to before there was very little options, especially as a solo player, and all those options also required you to meet those conditions. Anyways, let's not waste any time and get right into this video. So first on the list, and I'm sure you guys are very familiar with this one, is going to be the Vespers Moonlight Fragment farm. Now this requires very optimal conditions to be met to be able to farm. One of those conditions is you need a non-attribute character to reset the fragment. The other condition is that you need a Viesa, or Jaber actually works really well here now too, but nothing is going to be faster than Viesa currently. And essentially you're going to have the non-attribute character reset the fragment, and then have the Viesa drop her blizzards and clear all the mobs in about half a second. And then you're going to have the person abort the mission who is resetting the fragment. Now you as the Viesa can actually come over here and activate this mission and then come back to the fragment. Because you're doing all the killing, you don't need to be in the mission itself to get the XP. So you can join this mission and then you don't have to worry about resetting every single time. Now your next fastest farm right now is going to be the Biolab Hard Infiltration mission. This is because Nexon recently buffed the Infiltration XP, and at the end it gives you a ton of XP. Now one important thing to note here is that you actually have to complete the dungeon. That is where you get the giant boost of XP. So I ran this with a friend, and without any component XP multiplier on his component, he was just using an XP boost. He went from level 1 to 17. If you do have the component XP boost, you will get 18. Now the condition here is that having an optimal team such as a strong bunny is going to make this faster, obviously, but you can still run this as a solo player, and what you can actually do is queue it up public, and typically your longest runs are going to take somewhere between like 6 to 7 minutes, so it's going to be slower, but it's still a very good XP farm if you are a solo player as opposed to some of the other options. And another thing that's important here is that the 100% difficulty multiplier and the 250% difficulty multiplier do not matter at all. In terms of XP gained, you will get the same XP. Also, the size of your party does not matter either. You will get the same XP. As long as it is the hard mode, you will get the same XP. And building off of this, another great dungeon to run is the Magister lab. This is going to be the next fastest. However, if you are a solo player, you may want to opt into running this over Biolab, and that is because without those optimal conditions of having like a very juiced up bunny, this will actually end up being faster XP for you. So it really depends, but this one is a lot faster and easier, but the XP is obviously less. So again, I ran my friend through this and he went from level 1 to 12 here. Again, without that component XP multiplier. With optimal conditions on both of these dungeons, the XP is almost a negligible difference, but the Biolab is going to be a little bit better. But again, that is only if you're meeting those optimal conditions. So you may just want to do Magister lab if you're doing this solo. And the next best farm after this is going to be Block Kuiper Mine. This is the Spec Ops mission in Sterile Lands, and this is also a pretty good one to queue up solo. However, again, it's going to be best if you have a AoE character that's clearing the mobs very quickly. Again, bunny is very good for this. So if you have a bunny with you, this is also a good option. But if you're solo, it's also a good option. However, you may queue into a comp that's not very good at clearing mobs, so this could take longer. I would say the shorter runs are around like 12 minutes, and the longer runs can be around like 18 to 20 minutes. So there is a pretty big gap there. But if you do about 3 to 4 of these runs, you will hit level 40 with a full XP boost and the XP multiplier on my components. I was able to get 1 to 40 in about 3 of these runs, so it was taking around 40 to 45 minutes. And I'm sure a lot of you guys are familiar with this farm. This is the Bunny Cave farm, and this is what I like to call old reliable. However, this farm is not as important anymore because you have a lot of other options. But if you're feeling lazy and you want to do a more laid back farm, this is always an option. Now obviously this is reliant on a bunny being there, but I've typically found that going into public instances, you'll typically find a bunny farming this. However, if there is no bunny, this is going to be very slow and not worth doing. And the bunny also has to be somewhat optimized to be able to clear this quickly. And the other downside to this is that you get absolutely nothing out of it, similarly to the Vesper farm. And the last farm on the list is Old Reliable number 2, which is going to be coming to Echo Swamp, coming to the Environment Contamination Zone mission. Now again, this is reliant on having a fast bunny to actually clear the mission, or some kind of character. Viesa can work as well as Valby, but nothing is going to clear this as fast as bunny. And essentially you would either be the bunny if you were, say, farming the XP on your weapon or something like that, or you are the person who is resetting the mission each time. So you would stand at the button here and just reset it once it's clear. And a lot of bunnies actually really like when people do this because it means they don't have to run all the way over to the button and reset it. Now, I don't encourage AFK farming, but this is a good way to actually get XP as long as the bunny running it isn't showing any concerns or anything like that, or whoever's running it, then you're totally fine here. Just reset the mission for them. I'm sure they will appreciate it in most cases. And that is going to do it for this video. Thank you guys so much for watching. Thank you to my patrons on Patreon for all the support, as well as my Twitch subscribers and my Next on Creator Program supporters. I'll leave links to all that in the description of the video. If you enjoyed this video and you like the content, please consider subscribing. If not, no worries there. Anyways, thank you guys so much for watching, and I will catch you in the next one.